Okay, so first things first, I have been playing this awesome arcade racer. If you have been keeping up with my channel most recently, and you will know that I have been playing this little game called Burnout Revenge. And it very much is a game that I believe definitely gives Burnout 3 a run for its money in terms of which game overall is the overall best in the series. But one thing I have established with a lot of Burnout fans is that they believe Revenge is the best overall because it provides the best overall experience. Which is ironic when you think about it, because in a lot of ways, it's almost like when you're comparing Gran Turismo 3 to Gran Turismo 4. Sure, Gran Turismo 4 obviously provides the better experience, but the one thing you can never deny Gran Turismo 3 is the fact that it gives off some of the best aesthetics and vibes of just the series overall. In some cases. And I think that's partly why other people often say 3 is better than Revenge under those cases. But anyway, we're actually gonna get back to this game now. And if you like what I'm doing around here, then subscribing to me is definitely an optional and potentially good idea because I'm trying to reach 800 subs before the end of the year if you're still watching. Last time I checked, we were either 13 or 12 subs away from reaching 800, so if we could get there, then I would greatly appreciate it. So we've been doing a lot of racing recently, and I think now's a good time to get on with the crash events, because I think that's probably what a lot of these are going to be from here on out. As we have only one crash event to do so far, since both Lone Peak and Angel Valley are currently locked, they require me to do the crash zone and basically get a perfect score on that, so that's what we're going to do.
Welcome to a crash course in crashing. Your aim is to crash into and explode as many cars as possible. But it's not as easy as just rolling your car into a junction. First up, you need to learn about boost. Listen up, this is important. Step on the gas to stop the launch bar and set your speed. Hit the gas again on the way down to launch your vehicle. Nail the sweet spot at both ends for a power boost start. Careful though, get it wrong and you could stall. Or even blow up your engine. Nasty. The burnout streets can get breezy, so watch the wind when soaring through the air. And use aftertouch to steer. If you feel you're falling short of your target, there may be another way round. Keep your eyes open for escape route ramps that can get you back on track. Now hit the traffic and let the destruction begin. Check it out. Crashing cars fills your boost meter. When it's full, explode your car by pumping up the crash breaker. The faster you pump, the bigger the crash breaker explosion. Don't forget to use aftertouch to steer your car and cause even more crashes. Hit props and cars to score. Just think, the bigger the vehicle, the bigger the score. Exploding traffic multiplies your score. Catch the bonus target car for maximum revenge. Selection is crucial when it comes to making the most of your crashing. Small cars are light, fast, and controllable, but have smaller crash breakers. Bigger cars have stronger crash breakers. They may be slower, but because they're heavier, they're less affected by wind. Choose your weapon.
Yeah, I think I do understand why they chose Jules the Young in particular to ironically do the tutorial voiceovers and, well, the other bits and pieces that she did. And I'm gonna be honest, this is a pretty hard place to start, in all honesty, because our goal target is 9 million, and up to this point, the most I've managed to accumulate on my previous failed attempts is just over 7 million, so this is either going to be easy because I have faster cars now, or it's going to be a real pain in the ass to get the gold on some of these crash zones. Crash as many vehicles as you can. Crashes grow your crash breaker bar. Explosions increase the score multiplier. So 9 million is the gold target, 6 million the bronze, and 6 million the silver, 1 million the bronze. I really am trying here. It's been over 2 weeks since I last played this game, so I probably am a bit rusty. But that's also why I chose to do these. And where hopefully this time I can manage to see myself leaving with a gold medal and not leaving myself on a stretcher. So we have got a bit more variety among what cars we can use here now. Although, I think because we get specific models for specific crash zones, I might as well use the one that pops up to me to start with, and that's this one. The stock C170 Mid. And is this supposed to be white? I think this is supposed to be white. Anyway, we'll basically start off with this car and we'll see how we go. I'm also currently doing this because I am trying to see if I can get a decent thumbnail shot of this thing. I get the feeling these cars are here for a reason. Okay, I think that's enough. I should have enough evidence now for a thumbnail. So basically what you have to do with the launch is, you have to press X once, and then press it again, in order to nail the launch. That's what I know at least. Or you can just do that also works. And now we just have to let the destruction flow, and see how much carnage it causes. Hopefully it'll cause enough. And there's my cue. And I am currently going nowhere. Well, at least I got my target challenge achieved. And okay, we got the silver, and there's the gold. I'm pretty sure we got the gold. I did not think that was going to work, but I am so glad it did. And to think I actually ran into the back of one car, and then basically that was pretty much when all hell broke loose on the rest of the junction, and then I somehow got the gold right there at the end. I did not think that was going to happen. I really thought for sure it was going to be a struggle, but amazingly it wasn't. I guess there must have been further damage on the ground. That also must have happened, and yep, there was. Guess that must have been where I achieved my target. Okay, anyway. There we go. Target challenge has been achieved, and we have also unlocked new events as a result. Achieving 9,305,800 credits in vehicle damage. Cool and good. And also a great way to start this. Alrighty. One crash event is now done, and now we have to get through the other two. And then we can probably move on to these locations afterwards. Because everything else we've pretty much done. So on to Deconstruction site. And this time we need 3 million for a gold, 2 million for a silver, and 1 million for a bronze. Can we get there? Stay tuned to find out. I might also use the same car I used before, because I actually did manage to get it right in terms of getting the gold before. I think I might actually stick with this thing for now. I already got my thumbnail image, so I'm not going to waste any time doing an overscroll or something. Well, scrolling a full view of this thing. Alright, let's see how we do. I think I got it right. I don't know for sure, but I might have got it. Okay, come on baby, come on baby, come on baby. Yep. Okay, well that's one way to get it going. I could not drop off the side. Oh, I went the wrong way. But never mind, I got the gold and I hit my target car as well. Only 39 cars hit this time. But you know what? It's enough for the gold, and that's all I care about. How many more cars are going to be involved in this? Okay, 42. 43. Oh, it stays at 43. Well, whatever. I still got the gold. I guess I just need to be in the right spots to do it. And for the first two, I think I actually nailed them. This might not be as much of a pain in the ass to get the golds as I thought it was going to be. But then again, this is only tier 1, and we still have to get through, obviously, the other tiers of events that are yet to be done. Okay, whatever. Second crash event now done, and we've also unlocked a new ride as well, along with another event. So far, so good. Now let's move on to our next one. And now we've unlocked the compact C180 Lite. I think this is meant to be based off of a Renault 5 or something. Or a Metro. I don't know. Anyway. That's now 2 crash events done, and we have 1 to go. Cars Attacks. Ironic to say that in some cases, this might just be a similar way of taking inspiration from Mars Attacks. So we need 7 million for a gold, 4 million for a silver, and 2 million for a bronze. What car it is? What car is it that we have this time? This could be interesting, from what I can see. Well, we did unlock a new car, so I think we might as well use this thing and see what colours we have available for us to use. Not really much. You know what, I'm gonna stick with the C170 for this one, just because it's worked so well for me in terms of getting the results before. I want to stick with this for now, just because things have worked out as well as they have at this point. And, we get wind speeds. Was not expecting that. And not the best of starts, which I think is unfortunate. And not going to work out very well, is it? Nope, I didn't think so. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that was crap. Let's try that again. That was terrible even by my standards. I think I figured out what it is I need to do. I was so close to blowing the engine again. That would have been catastrophic if I did. And I think that might have been a good place to start. For me at least. Certainly wasn't inauspicious by any accounts. See what that does. Come on, come on. That's it. Can I get over the side? Yes, I can get over the side. And there's the gold. Although I didn't hit any cars on the ground, unfortunately. But you know what? It's fine. I got the gold, that's all that matters. The gold is mine. By less than 100 grand. And there we go. $7,091,000 in damages. And I beat my previous rating as well. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, and that's now all events done for Rank 1 in both Sunshine Keys and Motor City. All race events and crash events are now completed. However, we still have to fill out the rest of the challenge sheet later on. Now we're on to Angel Valley, which means we've got another crash zone. Hollywood Spills. Hopefully those spills will include some thrills. So, actually, you know what? I think I will use the other car I just unlocked for this. So we need 6 million for a bronze, 4 million for a silver, and 2 million for a bronze. I think we will actually use the compact C180 for this one. Okay, so I have to hit a few vehicles up to those buses, and then I have to make that jump. Okay, I think I can do that. And this time, I will use the compact C180 Lite, because I think this is a good choice. I think this thing is meant to be based off of an MG Metro, And wind speed's at 20 miles an hour. Don't know what that means, but I will go along with it either way. Okay, I think that's got some damage involved with the trucks. And can I hit the road? I cannot hit the road. Never mind, I do hit the road. I actually do something right for once. Oh, I'm trapped underneath the bus. But I know I can get a secondary crash breaker. Although that's not going to happen this time. At least we got the bronze. So at least we've made a start. Not necessarily a great one, but a good enough start to say we at least understand what it is we're doing. And the fact that it's basically the freeway that is our priority target. So let's try that again, and see if we can get another 3.7 million on the board. Well, 3.75 million on the board, to be more specific. You know what, we're using the C-170 again. Just because it's pretty much been my all reliable up to this point. Can I get this right? I think I can. And I think that's a good place to start. So let's see how we do. And this, I think, is a really good place to start. And I think it might just be enough to get me the gold. If I'm lucky. And I also got my takedown car as well. Nice. And as a result, I took out 49 cars. So I think at this point, the C-170 is definitely the best car to use for the Tier 1 crash events, from what I can see. I think the C-170 is pretty much my all reliable for this. And it seems to be showing rather well. Well, I guess that just leaves one more crash event to do, and then that'll pretty much be Tier 1 filled out. Okay, I think we have just one crash event left now, and then after that, we should pretty much be complete with Tier 1 of this game, from what I can see, as our last one for Tier 1 is at Lone Peak. Off the beaten truck. And I still have to get that signature takedown at the clock tower, but I will get that later on. Now let's get through this. Huh, and we are actually using a truck this time. Drive a specially selected crash car in this event. Win a medal to unlock this car for other crash events. So I think this might be the only model we can use for this, I think is what the game is telling me. Or at least it appears to be that way, from what I can see. So it looks like we're stuck with using the truck for this one. If I was to take a guess up yonder. Yeah, I thought so. A level 7 crash breaker. Yeah, this thing, I suppose, is meant to be a mock-up of the Chevy Silverado, I think is what this is supposed to be. I mean, it's either a Silverado or it's a Dodge Ram. I can't tell which, though. But one thing I know about this thing is, it looks sick. And to that I mean, it looks very cool. And I actually really like the way it looks. I mean this truck, in terms of its looks, it really does slap. And wind speeds of 25 miles per hour. As I more or less nail it on the launch, now I just have to make sure I can get the rest of this right. I hope. And it does not work. Okay, let's try that again. Except for saying this time, we actually do better than what we did before. That jump might be deceptive. I'm just restarting every time I don't get the perfect launch, because I need to do that first and foremost. There we go. And let's see where it takes us from here. Maybe it'll take us to a good place. Or maybe it won't. Depends on what happens next. That's the real question I have. I at least know what it is I have to do in order to get some of it to work. Are we gonna get more cars involved? I think this might also be dependent on timing. And now we've got the gold. Yep, that's official. Just over 3 million. Well, I will say I was getting slightly mad at myself to begin with because of how I could not nail the launch. But then once I figured I had to get the second X-click in the green zone to nail the launch, that was eventually how I discovered to get the gold. It was also how I figured out how to make the jump as well. You basically need a perfect launch in order to get it right. And eventually that's what I did. So thankfully, that's now tier 1 of the crash events now done. And we've done it. And that is now tier 1 fully complete. Alright, there we go. The 4x4 C180 Super is now ours. And I am strongly convinced in saying this thing is based off a Silverado. And there we go. Clean sweep of all events in tier 1. However, we still have to beat the challenges later on. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So all in all, 5 crash events now done. We've unlocked 35 vehicles, and we are now halfway there with the completed challenges. And I think that took me more than an hour to get there. But anyway, on to the next tier of crash events.